Welcome into the great park here in Irvine. Sam Evans alongside Aidan, Pham. Our broadcast here on Riptide TV is powered by Cityside Fiber, OC Riptide's favorite gig speed fiber internet service provider. Aidan, these two teams have met a couple of times this season. The Riptide are 0-2 against Santa Barbara, but the Riptide got a big win yesterday against a really good team.
It really was. They won 11-3 in dominant fashion over the Conejo Oaks, and that's the number 2 team in the CCL South. It should be an exciting one tonight. The Riptide and Santa Barbara Foresters took on each other last week. It was a pretty neck-and-neck game, and just the Foresters came out on top via walk-off.
Yeah, the Foresters won that one up in Santa Barbara. The Riptide trying to get their revenge here in what's a rescheduled game from last Tuesday. It's the Riptide are welcoming the Foresters in. They'll head up to Santa Barbara on Wednesday. The lineup here for the Foresters: Addison Klepsch leads off. He's the shortstop. Brenton Clark in right field. He bats second. Terrence Keel the second in center field. Easton Mumau at third base bats cleanup. Cole Chamberlain does the catching behind the dish. He bats fifth. Brady Dallimore is the DH batting sixth. Caden Miller, the first baseman, bats seventh. Easton Ruley at second base bats eighth. Makani Navarro bats ninth. He's in left field. There's 5 lefties in this Foresters lineup against left-hander Dane Grant on the mound for the Riptide. The defense behind him from left to right in the outfield: Reed Montgomery, Camden Burdick, Bradley Navarro. On the infield, Camden Sauce, Tyler Holland, your third base and shortstop. Luke Johnson is at the keystone, Grant MacArthur at first. And again, Zach Crandall doing the catching for Dane Grant. We're just about ready to get underway as Addison Klepsch steps into the batter's box. And you might notice we're only using one camera today due to the rescheduled game. We've got some staff shortages, but I can assure you we'll be back to our regularly multi-camera game starting tomorrow. So we're just about ready to get underway here right at 6 p.m. Dane Grant staring in at Addison Klepsch. Rocks and deals just high for strike or ball one.
And this is a really good Santa Barbara Forester lineup. 6 out of their 9 hitters are batting over 300, so Dane Grant's going to have his work cut out for him today.
That one misses down, so behind 2-0, but it's been a good year for Dane Grant with the Riptide. He's 6 2/3 innings, an ERA under 1.5, no walks so far. That's the big number for me this season. 10 strikeouts for Dane Grant as well. That one in there to make it 2-1. The last time we saw Grant was in a relief outing against the Barons on Wednesday. He just worked an inning, didn't give up a run in that game. That one's grounded sharply towards Sauce. He fields throw on to first, plenty of time, low but scooped out by Grant MacArthur. So one down here for the Foresters in the top of the first.
And a really nice job by Camden Sauce over there at third base. And we've seen the Riptide defense be really good the past couple of games. They're going to look to continue that tonight. And it's going to be necessary against a team in the Foresters who hit really well.
No, yeah, yesterday was some really good defense. Couple of double plays turned by the Riptide. You had a diving catch from Reed Montgomery in left field. Bradley Navarro made one up against the wall in right. So it was a really stellar performance. That one, ball one after Brenton Clark squared and then pulled his bat back. I'd love to see Dane Grant pitch well today. Given that you've got so many lefties in the lineup, it really feels like it's a good matchup for him. That one in there for a strike, so 1-1.
Brenton Clark off to a terrific start to the summer. 362 average. He was 1 for 3 against the Riptide last week.
Squares to bunt again, pulls it back, and it's in the strike zone, so 1-2. 530 OBP for Brenton Clark, so he's just on base constantly, but ahead 1-2. Grant will try and deal with him right here. That one's chopped back up the middle. Johnson charges high, grabs it, just throw on there in time. So tough hop for Luke Johnson, who was able to make the play.
We talked about it a lot yesterday. Luke Johnson really comfortable in the infield, gets the start at second base today, and delivers a good throw to MacArthur for the second out.
And Luke Johnson's been raking at the plate recently. We'll talk more about it when he comes up, but he's just been fantastic. He was both of our Players of the Week on the Rip Current podcast, which after this game you should take a listen to. Me and Aidan were 2 of the voices on that one. Grant in there to make it 0-1.
And Terrence Keel gave the Riptide a lot of trouble in that last meeting. He was 3 for 5 that day, scored 2 runs, and reached via a walk also.
That one's chopped foul. So behind 0-2, but in the last game for the Foresters, Keel came off the bench, hit a bases-clearing double in that ball game. So it was really a fantastic performance for him. So ahead 0-2, 2 outs here for Grant. Misses up and away to make it 1-2. Just trying to get through a clean first inning, which for a while, a couple days ago, was a real challenge for the Riptide as they were struggling in that game. That one's grounded foul. They'd given up first inning runs in 5 straight, 7 out of 9 games, but that's become less of an issue recently. They've managed to put up zeros in the first inning in each of their last 3 games. We'll have a brief pause here as the ball got all the way down to left field. Reed Montgomery flipped it over to the bat boy, who's racing back towards the Riptide bullpen. So some strong hustle already coming out of the Riptide bat boy, and we'll be underway here again. 1-2. That one's lifted out towards left center field. Falling fast, Burdick moves over, does not make the catch. He dropped it. So moving up to second is Terrence Keel, and a rare misplay from Cam Burdick out in center field. Really haven't seen him make a misplay all season long, but a 2-base error means that the Riptide have to deal with the powerful Easton Mumau with a man in scoring position, 2 outs.
We talked about how great the defense has been. Just a miscue out there in center field from Cam Burdick, and runner on second for the Foresters.
That's a good example of why errors aren't necessarily a perfect stat. A lot of center fielders, I don't think, even get to that ball. Runner goes, ground ball right back up the middle, fielded by Holland, thrown to first in time. So nothing comes of the error. Still 0-0 headed on to the bottom of the first. We'll have the Riptide lineup for you momentarily. Welcome back here, Great Park in Irvine. Bottom of the first, tied at 0. The Riptide lineup facing off against Nick Abraham, the starter for the Foresters today. Bradley Navarro, as usual, leads things off. He's in right field. Carter Dans gets a day off from playing defense, but he's DHing and batting second. The big bat of Grant MacArthur's hitting third and playing first. Zach Crandall behind the dish bats cleanup. Luke Johnson, he's been just red hot recently, bats fifth. Reed Montgomery out in left field bats 6th. Camden Sauce over at the hot corner bats 7th. Tyler Holland at short bats 8th. And then Cam Burdick playing center field bats 9th. That second leadoff spot that we've seen Cam Burdick be in for a lot of this year. The defense for the Foresters behind Abraham, Makani Nabarro in left, Terrence Keel in center, Britton Clark in right. Easton Mumau, Addison Klepsch, left side of the infield. Easton Ruley, Caden Miller, the right. Cole Chamberlain doing the catching for Nick Abraham, who's from Tennessee. They won the national championship a little over a year ago now, but Abraham's out here. He wasn't there. He was a freshman this last year for the Volunteers, so he came into a defending national champ.
And that goes to show you the amount of talent on the roster for the Foresters. You got a bunch of SEC guys, really good team that the Foresters have put together, but look for Bradley Navarro here leading things off, batting in the left-handed batter's box. The wind in center field blowing straight towards right.
Navarro ready here for the first pitch of this ball game. Grounded foul. And like you said, this Foresters team extremely talented. They're atop the CCL South at 13-4, a game and a half ahead of the Oaks and 4.5 ahead of the Riptide. Navarro stepping back in now and ready to go. And Navarro's on a 10-game hitting streak as he grounds that one to the right side. Picked up by Miller, he'll flip on to the covering Abraham in time. So one down here in the bottom of the first.
Wait for Abraham to get over there on time and retire Navarro.
Those can definitely be tricky plays for a pitcher. I know one of our other broadcasters, Hewen, who's a pitcher at Emerson College, talks about, there's times where you're like, hey, I'm done with my job. I got the ground ball, but you've got to get over there and cover that bag, and it was good he did because Navarro was busting down the line. So that'll bring up Carter Dans, who went 1 for 5 yesterday. That one's lifted to the left side, into left field. Sharp hit there for Carter Dans, who goes the opposite way for base hit number 1 of this ball game.
Gets the first hit of the ball game for the Riptide, extends his hit streak to 3 games now. What a start from Carter Dans.
He's hits in 6 of his last 7 games, so continuing to rake. There's a reason why he's been batting higher and higher in the lineup. And another guy who's been really hot for the Riptide, Grant MacArthur. He's 11 for his last 26 at the plate, batting average up to 350 for the season. That one misses down, so 1-0. Dan's over there on first. Definitely a speedy guy, not necessarily a threat to steal. We haven't seen him go all that much, but definitely one to watch on the base paths. MacArthur grounds that one to third. On to second for 1, on to first high, but in time. So Grant MacArthur grounds into an inning-ending double play. Still 0-0 as we head on to the second. Back here in Irvine, Cole Chamberlain leading things off against Dane Grant. After Chamberlain, Brady Dallimore, Caden Miller. So lefty, righty, lefty against the lefty Grant. Worked a clean first inning, just allowed the 1 base runner on the error by Burdick. That one in there for strike 1. Dane Grant did not pitch for UC Irvine last season, so this summer's sort of been his season. It's been really good so far for him. That one just outside, so 1-1. He's got a 4-pitch mix, a 4-seamer in the upper 80s, and then a 12-6 curve, a slider, and a 2-seamer. I feel like you don't see as many 12-6 curveballs anymore, Aidan. 1-1. Just misses the outer half, so 2-1. You see a lot of guys who have that sort of sweeping curveball nowadays, and almost more of a 9-3, but you don't necessarily see the 12-6 as much.
Dane Grant really has looked good this summer, and you talked about how he hasn't walked anybody with 10 Ks.
That one inside 3-1, and the announcer jinx squarely on the line here. He talks about not having walked anyone, and it's a 3-ball count. I know you're on the edge of your seat, Aidan.
You know, I think Dane Grant will battle back in this count. Let's see here.
So 3-1 to the catcher Chamberlain. In there 3-2. Nod of approval from Ulis, trying to avoid the walk, the first walk of the season, and instead get his first strikeout of the night.
Cole Chamberlain was walked twice last week against the Riptide.
That one inside ball 4. Dane Grant's first walk of 2025 is issued. So a no-out walk for Cole Chamberlain here to set things off here in the top of the second.
And pretty uncharacteristic for Dane Grant. He doesn't walk a lot of batters. That's only his first issue this summer.
He had 6 walks in 14 1/3 for the Alaska Gold Panners last summer. That one inside, it got a piece of Brady Dallimore, so the hit by pitch puts runners at first and second. Now Grant's got to labor a little bit.
Had a really good first inning, but like you said, has found himself in some troubles. Runners on first and second for Caden Miller.
Miller is a rising sophomore from UTSA. He's not hit well in the CCL this season, just 143. So hopefully the out the Riptide need, the infield coming in. That one misses away. Corners pretty much in line with their bag. Middle infield staying deep enough to try and at least turn a double play. Grant staring in, open stance for Miller. That one in the dirt. So behind 2-0 is Dane Grant, who's really struggled for control here in this second inning. He's already walked Chamberlain and hit Dallimore, now behind 2-0 to Miller. As the Foresters try and strike first here in this second inning. That one catches the outer half, so 2-1. The Foresters shut out the Riptide here early in the season, and then obviously, as we've talked about, walked off 9-8 up in Santa Barbara. Santa Barbara scored first in both those games, trying to do so again right here. That one misses outside, so 3-1.
And a big issue for the Riptide pitching staff in that game was the walks. They really struggled in that category. The Riptide pitchers walked 10 batters against the Foresters.
It was a really chaotic game. Both teams scored 5 runs in back-to-back half innings. They'll pick back towards second. It'll get out of Holland's glove, but not out of the infield, so the runners stay put. This feels like a really big pitcher. You definitely don't want to walk the bases loaded. And Grant really needs to make a pitch here on Miller, who's struggled all season long, before Easton Ruley comes to the plate. 3-1 is lifted out towards left field. Charging in is Montgomery. The play won't be made. It kicks off Holland. Montgomery can't get to it in time, and that will allow Chamberlain to come around to score. Tough break there for the Riptide as that ball fell between Reed Montgomery and Tyler Holland. It bounced off Holland and cost the Riptide a run as a result.
It was just blooped over the head of Tyler Holland, out of his reach, and the Foresters strike first in Irvine.
So an RBI single for Caden Miller, a guy who really needed it, and that'll bring up Easton Ruley to the plate. Hitting just 175 this season. He's 0 for his last 17. That one in there for strike 1.
Was 0 for 5 against the Riptide with 2 strikeouts in that last meeting.
It's been a tough run for Ruley. He came into that meeting with the Riptide a week and a half ago as the leading RBI man for this team, but now just hitting 8th in the lineup and really scuffling. That one well inside, so 1-1.
For Dane Grant, you still got no outs on the scoreboard. Runners are on first and second, looking for something. Here is Dane Grant.
Effectively the same situation he was just in with Miller at the plate. You know, the runner is able to move up basically stay in the same positions. That one misses down, so 2-1 as the control issues continue for Grant. No action going on in the Riptide bullpen, but wouldn't shock me if we saw Coach Evans come to the mound at some point. Coach Ramos is walking out to the bullpen right now, so perhaps asking someone to get warmed up. 2-1 from Grant. In there. So a big second strike evens the count at 2.
We saw in that last game the Riptide pitching staff did struggle to start the game. Tommy McGuire only went a third of an inning. So the Foresters were able to get out to a hot start, trying to do it again.
And that sort of a similar situation here is what Grant's dealing with. A lot of soft contact, a lot of walks in that game. That one's chopped towards third. It'll kick foul, though, before Sauce can get to it. This Foresters team is really good at not beating themselves. They scored the most runs this season among the CCL South Division teams, and they sort of do it by unselfish at-bats, passing the baton, not trying to do too much, and they're really good at making pitchers work hard. So 2-2 again here towards Rulli. That one's lifted out towards left center field. Burdick moving over. Looks like he'll take it. He'll make the catch this time, and no advance for either runner. So a huge first out for Dane Grant. He's still got 2 to get. Makani Nabarro, the number 9 man, stepping up to the plate. Nabarro from Cuesta College is hitting .333 this season. The 5th lefty that Grant's had to deal with so far today, as he's the number 9 man in this lineup. So ton of lefties for the lefty to battle with. That one in there, strike 1. So 0-1 here on Nabarro. Runner at first is Miller. Runner at second, Dallimore. 1 run already in this inning for Santa Barbara. That one check swing. He did not go. So it'll be 1-1.
The scoreboard at Irvine is incorrect, and now it's fixed 1-1.
So now the count's correct. Grant will rock and deal. That one bounces in. So 2-1. That's always the toughest, I think, whenever the scoreboard's wrong. And I think I know the count, but then you look over and there's a giant sign telling you you're wrong. So we had one yesterday that we really turned around on. But it is a 2-1 count here for Grant. That one swung on and missed. So count even at 2. Grant was able to get that fly out from Rulli on a 2-2 count. Perhaps trying to work for his first punch out right here. Nabarro, a multi-sport athlete, played soccer in high school as well. Takes strike 3 called on the outer half. So a big second out from Dane Grant. Perfectly placed slider right on the edge of the zone.
Way to freeze up Nabarro, and the Foresters are one of the least strikeout prone teams in the CCL, so way to get his first punch out for Dane Grant.
Yesterday, the Riptide pitching staff had just 6 strikeouts in that game, but they were still able to shut down the Oaks. So trying to get some more punchies today. That one in there to Klepsch, who grounded to third back in the first inning to start off this ball game. So 0-1 here. That one in there for a strike. So 0-2. And Grant appears to have found a little bit more control than he had to start off this second inning. First 3 men in this frame all reached. A walk, a hit by pitch, and a bloop single. That one's fouled off Zach Crandall behind the dish. So we'll stay on 0-2.
He's done a nice job to get ahead of Klepsch here, and just looking for that third and final strike, get out of this inning with just one run given up.
Would certainly feel big to keep the game right where it's at. The Riptide were sort of in a similar spot yesterday against the Oaks. They allowed the Oaks to score first as Grant gets a check swing. He did not go, says the first base umpire. So 1-2. But in that game, the Riptide, were trailing 1-0, then 2-0. They got back to 2-1, then we're back down 3-1. But they were able to not give up more than 1 run in an inning It allowed the offense time to grow into the game, and then the Riptide exploded for back-to-back 5-run innings. Check swing, strike three looking, so back-to-back backwards Ks for Dane Grant. He allows just the 1 run, strands a couple. Riptide trailing 1-0 as we head on to the bottom of the second. Welcome back in here in Irvine. Riptide trailing in this game 1-0, bottom of the second. 4-5-6, Zach Crandall, Luke Johnson, Reed Montgomery coming up here to face off against Abraham, who looks good in the first. Did allow a single to Dan's, but a double play from MacArthur meant that he faced just 3 batters. First pitch to Crandall high, so 1-0. Crandall's had a hit in his last 4 starts, so been hitting the ball well and really has become the leader behind the plate for the Riptide. That one's chopped. Going to be a tough play. Over towards Mumau. He'll field, throw onto first in time. Easton Mumau with a very nice play to retire Zach Crandall.
Looks like he just barely got him. Throw was on the dot. Nice effort by Mumau, and he gets rewarded with the put out at first. Here comes Luke Johnson, a guy who has been absolutely on fire for the Riptide, and Sam, I think he's due for a home run.
Are you calling a home run right here, right now?
I think Luke Johnson gets a homer today.
Today or in this at-bat?
Give me one pitch.
Well, that one is scolded but foul. If he'd homered right there, that would have been amazing. But he's 8 for his last 14. He went 3 for 5, a double, an RBI, 3 runs yesterday. He has 10 hits all season. 8 of them have come in the last 4 days.
In 3 consecutive multi-hit games.
That one inside, 1-1. And that 3 for 5 yesterday, it really easily could have been 4 for 5 with a home run. That ball, he hit one deep to left field that just died on the warning track. This one's fisted out towards center field. It'll get past the diving Klepsch. So a base hit for Luke Johnson. Not the hardest hit ball we've seen from him, but continuing to just rake for the Riptide.
Gets the job done. He reaches his first hit of the day. And yeah, Luke Johnson, just what a turnaround it's been for him. And we kind of saw the same thing at Cornell this year, where he started the season off struggling, batting just .053, but towards the back half, his production began to rise.
And Reed Montgomery, another man whose production rose yesterday, went 3 for 4, 2 doubles, drove in 5 runs in the game. So he just was absolutely fantastic. Takes strike 1 there. He was interviewed post-game as our player of the game. So it was a really great performance from Reed after a bit of a slump. He hadn't had a hit in his last 3 games, but broke out yesterday. They'll pick back, but Johnson's in there safely.
Johnson 7 for 7 on stolen base attempts this summer with the Riptide.
So definitely someone to watch. Most steals without being caught for the Riptide. That one's hit out towards left field. It'll get into left field. So back-to-back base hits for the Riptide. They've got 2 on with just 1 down here in the second.
Reed Montgomery picks up where he left off yesterday, gets the single into left. It's a really good start to the inning for the Riptide. You give up the run to the Foresters, and this is a team you want to stay neck and neck with. You don't want them to get out to too big of a lead.
Sort of identical base hit there as the one that Carter Dans had early in this game. Lefty just taking it through that 5.5 hole with authority. No need to try and do too much. Just take it where it's pitched. Camden Sauce at the plate now. He's 0 for 4 yesterday. He's slumped a little bit recently. Swings and misses there, and he's been doing a lot of that. 5 straight games with at least a strikeout. His 14 Ks is the most on the Riptide roster. But he's still managed to stay productive. He's got 10 walks, second most only behind Navarro, and trying to come up with a big hit right here. Runner goes. They'll throw down towards Johnson at third. He is in there safely. A nice steal from Luke Johnson going alone because Reed Montgomery stayed put over on first.
It's his 8th stolen base this summer for Luke Johnson. He's 90 feet from home for Camden Sauce. And you brought up a good point. Before yesterday, he was on an 11-game on-base streak and it was snapped with that 0 for 4 day.
He's down 0-2 in the count here, and you really just want to make sure you put Wood on the ball, looking to lift one to the outfield and bring home Johnson. So long pause here for Abraham. He'll pick over to Montgomery. He's in there safely, though. Definitely concerned about Reed Montgomery over there. The Riptide haven't been the most aggressive team in the CCL on the base paths, but Johnson's showing it off. Montgomery runs, ground ball. He's going to get on the left field line. So in to score comes Johnson. Montgomery moving over to third. Sauce heading over to second. And a big ground ball double from Camden Sauce has tied this game at 1. The Riptide have 2 more in scoring position. Some nice hit and run there for the Riptide.
And that one tightrope the left field line, got by the glove of Moo Mao, cashes in the run, and tie ball game with runners both in scoring position for Tyler Holland stepping up.
Tyler Holland from Arkansas went 1 for 4 with a walk and a run yesterday. Or pardon me, yes, yesterday. That one on the outer half, but just outside, so 1-0. Definitely use a big hit here from Tyler Holland to try and bring home 2 more runs and give the Riptide the lead. Swings and misses there, though, so 1-1. Holland's played really good defense at shortstop all season. Hasn't quite had the year he wanted at the plate so far, but we know he's sort of just only a matter of days away from breaking out. That one's fisted but foul down the left field line. So good contact on the ball. We saw Johnson hit one hard down the left field line, foul, and then follow it up with a base hit. But trying to do the same right here is Tyler Holland, down 1-2 in the count. Abraham stepping all the way off the mound as we have a brief pause to retrieve that baseball. So 1-2 on Holland, Sauce on second, Montgomery on third. Corners in here from the Foresters, and a swing and a miss. So strike 3 for Holland is the first strikeout from Abraham today. Cam Burdick, another guy who's been scuffling for the Riptide. He's got a shaved head, bleached blonde hair up there. Called it a slump buster, trying to break out in a big way right here. Base hit would likely score 2 with the speedy Sauce and Montgomery running the bases. That one inside, 0-1. Burdick hitting just 190 this season. His last start, he went 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts, and strikeouts have been the issue. He struck out 12 times in 22 at-bats this season. Down 0-1. When he gets aboard, he's really been a menace on the base pass, just able to run on really whoever he wants, but it's been getting on, that's the issue. Down 0-2 here, though.
Quickly down. He's struck out at least twice in the past 3 games, so Cam Burdick looking to turn that around.
Just need to put some good wood on the ball and hope something happens for you here. Takes the ball there, so 1-2. Definitely don't want to let Abraham get off easily, and if you're Burdick, taking a walk would be a huge result. Lets Bradley Navarro come up to the plate. So they're going to go after Burdick, even though the first base is open. 1-2 misses down and away. So 2-2. The Riptide looking to untie this game. It was a 1-0 Foresters lead when we started off this bottom of the second inning. The Riptide scored quickly to make it 1-1. Burdick takes ball 3, so the count's gone full, 3-2. If you're Abraham, you definitely do not want to bring up the big bat of Bradley Navarro with the bases loaded. So going after Burdick feels like it's the right decision. Trying to see if you can make them pay, though, if you're Cam Burdick. 3-2 grounded, just foul. That ball was well hit, but ultimately left of the third base bag. We've seen quite a few foul balls down that left field line in this game.
And Sean Cannon's on foul ball duties today. He's been pretty busy to start this ball game.
He might as well just set up a chair out in left field and sit there rather than having to run down each time at this rate. Pitch here, that one's fouled off the catcher, Chamberlain. Looked like a painful one because Burdick tipped that one back. Obviously, if Chamberlain hangs on, it's a foul tip, strike 3, and the threat is over. But instead, you've got to do the full count again.
About to be the 8th pitch of this at bat between Burdick and Abraham.
Started down 0-2, but he's battled back to full. Payoff pitch. That one's grounded between third and short. It'll be fielded by Mumau. He'll throw on to first just in time to get Burdick. So the Riptide get 1, but they leave 2 in scoring position. We'll head to the third, tied up at 1. Welcome back here in Irvine. This game is tied at 1 as we begin the top of the third. Both teams scored last frame in the second. Dane Grant on the mound, facing off against 2, 3, 4 of this Foresters lineup. Bretton Clark, Terrence Keel, Easton Mumau. Lefty, righty, lefty. None of them had base hits. Keel reached on an error last time up. That first pitch down, so 1-0 here to Bretton Clark. The Riptide just trying to keep this game right where it's at here. Grant's second pitch misses inside, so 2-0. We saw the control issues for Grant at the start of last inning. He'd settled down, but behind 2-0 here to Clark. Quick pitch here from Grant in there to make it 2-1.
Looks like Nate Hellman is starting to get going for the Riptide over there in the bullpen.
Just 3 names available out of the bullpen today, Hellman, Smith, and Suarez. That one's lifted towards left field. Moving over Montgomery, he loses the hat, dives, can't catch it. It's rolling behind him. Clark's headed for at least third. Montgomery will get it in quickly and hold him just to third, but a tough break. Reed Montgomery made an amazing diving play yesterday. Tried to lay out again, this time unsuccessful, and it cost the Riptide a couple of bases. So a leadoff triple for Bretton Clark here in the third.
That ball was slicing, and Reed Montgomery gave it his best effort. He dove, it got away from him, and a triple. A good start for the Foresters in this one.
So Terrence Keel up. So the Riptide will bring the corners in. At least first baseman Grant MacArthur is all the way on the edge of the dirt. Cam Burdick's running back towards center field, so we should be good to go. Burdick was doing a good job of backing up Montgomery in case that ball had gotten further away. Inside from Grant, so 1-0. I thought we were going to have a chance for the first inside the park home run here at the Great Park there, the way Clark was moving, but Montgomery able to get to it. That one in there, 1-1. So a nice pitch from Grant. He struck out the last two batters of the second and probably going to try and work for the strikeout here with the runner on third and no outs. That one's into center field for a base hit. So Keel will bring home Clark, and the Foresters lead this one 2-1.
Nice piece of hitting. Scorches it up the middle, cashes in Brett and Clark, and the Foresters regain the lead 2-1.
Quick answer there from Santa Barbara. They're trying to threaten to score more with just the runner on first, Keel, as Easton Mumau, the beer batter tonight, comes to the plate. So first pitch here to Mumau, in there for a strike. We'll see if Keel gets aggressive on the base pass. Obviously, it is a lot tougher to run when you're up against the left-hander, but we'll see if he's off on the pitch or not. He is off. Ground ball towards second. Johnson only has one play. It's at first, and he'll make it, but a nice hit and run gets Keel out of the double play there.
For Dane Grant, you're just get the first out, and you have a runner in scoring position, but at this point, it's just one out at a time with Cole Chamberlain stepping up.
Chamberlain walked and scored back in the second. Led off that frame, and now batting again here in the third. Keel up there on second, being watched closely by Tyler Holland, who's ready to flash in. He'll go to third. Throw down from Crandall is high and not in time. A nice play from Camden Sauce keeps it from going into the outfield, but a second straight stolen base for Terrence Keel puts him on third with just one out.
Really aggressive base running from Terrence Keel. He takes third, and Cole Chamberlain looking to get his 11th RBI this summer.
So corners in, middle infield back here for the Riptide on Chamberlain. That one outside. 2-1 count. Chamberlain will step back and readjust himself. Taps the plate once and now back ready to try and hit. Keel just 90 feet away, less as he moves closer. That one in there for a strike. So second strike here in the at-bat. 1-2 count. Chamberlain ready. That one bounces in, so the count will even at 2 apiece. You know, I think they had the count wrong, to be quite frank with you. I think there were 2 balls in that at bat, because they were both the sliders away that let the runner move up, and then you had another one after he moved up. I think it's a 3-2 count, but it's 2-2, and the umpire signaled 2-2, so I think a break for the Riptide. That one misses outside, and now it is a full count. But I think perhaps that should have been ball 4 if we'll go back and watch the tape. We'll have to take a look. So 3-2 on Chamberlain. Grant will rock and load for the full count. Fouled off Crandall's glove, so we'll stay on 3-2.
We saw Chamberlain get the better of Dane Grant. He was the first batter that Dane Grant has walked this summer, looking to do it for the second time.
Much more competitive at-bat here from Grant. With the runner on third, definitely both are pressing a little extra. 3-2 on the outside half. Chamberlain gets the bad news. The third strikeout looking here already in this game for Dane Grant. The Foresters aren't happy, but that's out number 2 in the third.
Coach Chamberlain definitely not happy. He threw his bat away as he was about to take first, and he gets rung up by the home plate umpire. A big strikeout from Dane Grant.
Well, the meeting on the mound here as Coach Evans comes to talk things over with Dane Grant. 2 outs here. It's the Riptide trying to deal with the runner on third, which is Terrence Keel, and keep him right there. So, meeting a relatively short one. Coach Evans headed back towards the Riptide dugout. The infielders will head back to their positions on the field. Should be just about ready to resume play here as Brady Dallimore, who was hit by the first pitch from Dane Grant last time up, coming up to the plate right now, trying to bring home Keel. Now with 2 outs, though, it'll require a base hit. That one in there, so nothing and 1 from Grant. Controls certainly come and gone in spurts for him this game. Holding his glove very high up to his neck. Now rocks and deals. That one misses up and away. 1 and 1. You see some pitchers, Casey Uper, who started for the Riptide yesterday, holds his glove at set below the belt buckle, but Grant definitely not one who does that. He fires the fastball low, 2 and 1. Almost feels like he's hoarding the baseball up close to his head so no one can take it. Dallimore from TCU, or he'll be a freshman at TCU as he takes strike 2, 2 and 2. He's headed to TCU in the fall after going to Palo Verde High School last season. Hit .458 there, so just raked for Palo Verde. That one's lifted out towards center field. Scolded at Burdick. He'll move over, though, and make the catch. So a loud out, but an out nonetheless. And this mid-inning break brought to you by Cityside Fiber. Going, gone to Cityside Fiber. It's your turn to connect with Cityside Fiber, OC Riptide's favorite gig-speed fiber internet provider. Whether you're streaming, gaming, or working from home, Cityside Fiber knocks it out of the park. Step up to the plate and get connected today at citysidefiber.com.
Hello and good evening, Orange.
Welcome back here, bottom of the third at Great Park. Riptide trailing in this one 2-1. Top of their order up though, Bradley Navarro, Carter Dans, Grant MacArthur. Switch hitter, lefty-righty, but Navarro will bat from the left side against the right-hander Abraham. That one's chopped. First pitch swinging out towards first. He'll throw on to the covering Abraham, and he makes the play. A couple of nice 3-1 putouts on Bradley Navarro as Abraham covered that one well for Caden Miller to throw to.
It was the second time this ballgame that he's done a nice job and gets the first out. The Riptide were able to tie it up in the second, but it didn't last long as the Foresters quickly regained the lead. And Riptide playing from behind once again.
Just got to try and punch back here if you're the Riptide. Carter Dans up at the plate with 1 out. He singled sharply to left field his first time up back in the first. That one in there, strike 1. So down 0-1 in the count is Dan's. Abraham's pitched well so far. He'll rock and deal. Swing and a miss. So down 0-2, Carter Dan's. He homered back on Thursday, just got one over the right field wall against the Blues. Hasn't yet gone deep at the Great Park this season. Takes strike 3 called, so a 3-pitch strikeout from Carter Dan's and strikeout number 2 from Nick Abraham.
Nick Abraham, this is his first start this summer, has looked really good so far, just picked up his 2nd strikeout. Only worked 1 inning in that relief appearance. So far, 2 2/3.
An 8.3 ERA for Tennessee this last season. Dealing with MacArthur here. Takes a strike on the outer half. MacArthur grounded into a double play back in the first, but up here with the bases empty and 2 down in the third. Nathan Hellman continuing to warm over in that Riptide bullpen. MacArthur takes a ball, so 1-1. Just trying to string some 2-out hits here together for the Riptide. So you want to make Abraham work. That one's grounded towards second. Fielded by Rulli. He'll throw on to first plenty of time. So the Riptide go 1-2-3. They're trailing by 1, 2-1 as we head on to the 4th. Welcome back here in Irvine. Riptide trailing this game 2-1. New pitcher Nathan Hellman. And Aidan, this will be the last time we see Hellman this summer.
Yeah, he's only playing summer ball for half of the summer. After June, his summer ball will be over. His last outing looking for a really good one. Pitched 2 innings against the Blues and struck out the side in both of those innings. So he's coming off a really nice performance.
He has yet to allow a run this summer. 2-0, 9.1 innings, no runs, just 3 walks, 2 hits, and 19 strikeouts. So he's been fantastic. He's tied for the most strikeouts on this roster. Most innings thrown without giving up a run. That one's fouled back by Miller. So if he can work a clean outing here tonight, he'll be able to finish his summer with a perfect 0.0 ERA. Great for Kennesaw as well. He tries to show why he deserves a spot in their rotation going forward. That one flies to the backstop, so 1-1.
He looked really good against the Blues, really confident, and was just absolutely mowing down every batter he saw.
Yeah, he literally struck out all 6 batters he thought. He mowed them all down. 1-1 here on Miller. He had that bloop single that brought home the first run of this ball game back in the second. It's ball 2 there as that one misses up and away. So 2-1 now on Miller after Hellman got the first pitch strike. Staring in. Now has a pitch he likes and will rock and deal, but misses away, so 3-1. Lengthy pause there for Hellman as he just wanted to make sure he was on the same page with Zach Crandall behind the dish. We'll avoid that leadoff walk. We saw that come back to bite the Riptide out there in the second. But the leadoff walk comes nonetheless. So Nathan Hellman, just his 4th walk issued this summer, puts a man on with no outs here in the 4th.
It's the 2nd walk issued by the Riptide today, and Forester's a team that gets walked a lot, 2nd in the CCL, and a runner on with no outs to start.
We saw that walk come around to score for Chamberlain. Easton Ruley flew out to center field back in the 2nd inning and trying to at least advance Miller here. One in there for a strike, so 0-1. You already saw Terrence Keel go off to the races twice. One, he stole the bag. Once was a hit and run that meant that he advanced on what would have been a double play. See if Miller's off here against Hellman. That one way up and in, getting out of the way is Ruley. Talk about buzzing the tower right there.
Can't believe that didn't hit him. Yeah, he made a really good effort to get out of the way, and it's really close to being hit.
Well, I imagine when you're got a 91 to 94 mile per hour fastball coming at your dome, you'd like to get out of the way too. 1-1, runner goes. Throw down, no chance. The off-speed pitch really meant that Crandall was uncompetitive there. So a 2nd stolen base for the Foresters in this game. The pitch missed as well, so 2-1 on Ruley.
Foresters continue to be aggressive on the base paths and get a runner in scoring position for Easton Ruley.
Still no outs here in this 4th inning. Ruley now trying to bring home Miller. Miller goes. That one's popped up. Could be 2 for the Riptide. It will be 2. The aggressiveness for the Foresters comes back to bite them. Miller was off. Ruley popped it up. Miller had no idea, and it's a big double play for Orange County.
It really was big. Races the base runner. There's 2 outs, and for Nate Hellman, just 1 out left to get.
So yeah, just like you said, just the 1 out, Makani Nabarro, the number 9 man up. So just when it looked like the Foresters had a real chance to threaten and bring home another run, that one in there for a strike, the Riptide catch a break and are now just 1 out away from getting out of this 4th inning. Nabarro struck out looking, who's one of 3 strikeout victims from Dane Grant. That one's popped up. Giving it a look is Sauce, but he will run out of room as it lands just a couple feet into the Riptide bullpen. Dane Grant's final line, 3 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. Definitely didn't have his A-plus stuff, but still able to battle for a while and keep the Riptide in the game. So ahead 0-2 is Hellman, trying to take the team lead for strikeouts right here. Just got a piece of it. It looked like he was playing cricket there. Had to really get down and get that ball that almost bounced in the dirt, just trying to protect those wickets and get that one fouled off. But we'll stay right on 0-2. So Nabarro still down in the count, trying to fight off Hellman. Rocks and deals. Swing and a miss. Nathan Hellman is your Riptide strikeout leader, at least for the moment. The Foresters still lead this one 2-1, but the Riptide bats are coming up. Welcome back here to the Great Park in Irvine. Sam Evans alongside Aidan Pham. Santa Barbara leads this game 2-1. Nick Abraham still on the mound for the Foresters. He'll deal with 4, 5, 6. Zach Crandall, Luke Johnson, Reed Montgomery in this Riptide lineup. Crandall takes strike one. He grounded out to third last time on a really nice play from Easton Mumau. Just sort of a topped grounder, and I thought Crandall was going to beat it out. That one drops in, so Abraham's ahead 0-2. Just trying to start the tone here. The Riptide are yet to get the leadoff man aboard in this ball game. They've all been groundouts. That one misses away, 1-2.
You brought it up in his last at-bat, how Zach Crandall is one of those guys that just finds a way to get on. He's reached in every game he's played in, 7-game on-base streak.
Including a walk off the bench after he'd come up here, done an in-game interview, eaten some mac and cheese, drew the walk anyway. Strikes out here, though, so the first out of this fourth inning is Zach Crandall on the third strikeout from Nick Abraham. Luke Johnson is up next. He singled, stole a base, and later came around to score in a busy trip around the base pass last time up. We've talked about how hot he's been. He's 9 for his last 15. He was 0 for the 15 before that, so definitely turning things around. That one's chopped towards third. Another tough play for Mumau. Bare hand throw on to first. This one's not in time. And when you're hot, you're hot. You got a bloop single in the second. You got a chopped infield single in the fourth. Everything's coming up Luke Johnson. That's 4 straight multi-hit ball games.
Just when you think Luke Johnson's going to get out on the ground ball, he reaches first safely. So, yeah.
He runs pretty well. I think as soon as that ball was chopped, he knew he had a chance to get there.
An unbelievable stretch for Luke Johnson as he just continues to stay warm.
Reed Montgomery had that 3-hit day yesterday. He had a single earlier in this ball game, part of that run that scored in the second. Trying to help bring home another one right here. Saw Reed Montgomery send one way out of the park during a BP. That one's popped foul. Wind still blowing out towards right field, but down 0-1 in the count is Montgomery. Johnson stole third when he was aboard last time. We'll see if he's off again. That's the only stolen base of this game for the Riptide. They're concerned about it too. They'll pick over and check on him.
He's really done everything well lately, and you talked about it yesterday on your broadcast, how he kind of fixed his batting stance with the help of the first base coach, Zach Thomas, and it's really worked out well so far.
Johnson getting lower in the box. They'll check, or pardon me, getting higher in the box. They'll check on him again, 0-1. Said he felt almost like a statue, that he was stuck down in his stance, and ZT, Zach Thomas, the first base coach, decided to change it up. Montgomery scolds one foul, though, so down 0-2.
Just being up higher, Zach Thomas said, allowed Luke Johnson, who's a really athletic guy, to just see the ball better, and yeah, being down low was a disadvantage to him. They fixed that, and so far it's paid off.
You could just tell he was like beaming with sunshine when I went down and talked to him before the game yesterday, and I'm sure that smile has not faded. It had been a really tough start to the summer. He'd been asked to play outfield, which he'd never done before. So just a tip of your cap towards Luke Johnson, who's done everything this Riptide team has asked of him. That one misses up and away to Montgomery, 1-2, but really has been the star of this last week and trying to continue that here this week and become more of a fixture in the everyday lineup. It's their third time checking over on Johnson. They really are worried about him.
And on our Rip Current podcast, we usually pick a player of the week each week, and usually we all pick a different guy, but I think this week it was just a unanimous Luke Johnson's our guy.
Johnson runs. Montgomery strikes out, throw down to second. Not in time, just able to get there in front of the throw. A pretty good throw down from Cole Chamberlain, but Johnson had a good jump. He beats it. Strikeout for Montgomery is the fourth from Abraham, second of this inning.
Second stolen base this game from Luke Johnson, and he's in scoring position for Camden Sauce.
Sauce singled home Johnson last time with that ball. He doubled home Johnson with that grounder down the left field line. Trying to do the same right here and tie this game up. takes a strike on the inside half. So 0-1. Sauce has sort of gone back and forth between slumping and not necessarily slumping. It's been a lot of strikeouts, which has really hurt him. So he takes another one, 0-2.
Since giving up that single to Luke Johnson, Nick Abraham has really settled down. He's gone ahead against both of the batters he's faced since then.
Of course, that single, relatively weak contact, so kind of easier as a pitcher to say, you know, it was a freak occurrence. We're still pitching well, and Abraham certainly is. Checks on Johnson, 0-2, misses, so 1-2. Four strikeout victims so far in this game for the Riptide. Abraham looking to strike out the side here to strand Johnson on second. Sauce grounds one foul. Staying alive. Count will remain at 1-2. Good at bat from Camden Sauce as he continues to fight against Abraham and at least make him work hard. Still not much action going on in either bullpen at the moment. 1-2. Abraham will step off. Looks like there's some conversation going between Abraham and the third base umpire, but it's come to an end now. Perhaps just letting him know not to commit a balk or something like that. 1-2. Swing and a miss. The Riptide gets struck out by the side. Crandall, Montgomery, and Sauce all go down swinging. They strand Johnson on second. They're still trailing 2-1 as we head on to the fifth.
No, he lost.
Welcome back here. Top of the fifth. 2-1 Foresters lead. Nathan Hellman still on the mound, dealing with the top of the order. Addison Klepsch, Brenton Clark, Terrence Keel. Righty, lefty, righty up for the Foresters here in the top of the fifth. That one swung on and missed. Hellman struck out Makani Nabarro in the last inning after a big double play helped him work around a leadoff walk, but he's looked much better since then. That one in there, so 0-2 on Klepsch, who's 0-2 today. Grounded out to third and then struck out looking back in the second. But both of those came against the starter Dane Grant, so facing Hellman now. That one yanked, so 1-2. Hellman put that one in the other batter's box, which if you're going to miss in one batter's box, it's better to miss in the one where the guy's not standing. Brenton Clark, who had a leadoff triple back in the third, waits on deck. That one's hard hit, but right at Tyler Holland, so a loud first out here at the top of the fifth.
This play by Tyler Holland, who's been great for the Riptide, continues to make big defensive plays for them, and you really gotta like what you see out of the kid from Arkansas.
He's been really a presence defensively. We saw for ourselves how hard it is to make some of those plays. I was out in the outfield with my glove pregame, and unfortunately my glove did not survive the outing. So truly a tragic loss, but extra respect for these players. That one scolded out towards center field. It's going to fall in front of Burdick. So Clark's got his second hit of this ball game with a 1-out single. That'll bring up Terrence Keel, who singled home Clark last time, drove in that run back in the third. He also reached on an error made by Cam Burdick in center field in the first. So nothing here on Keel. Clark over there on first. They'll check on him, but he's back standing. The Riptide trailing in this game 2-1, but out hitting the Foresters 5-4. Clark will go. Bunt pulled back, throw down, not in time. It'll get away from Tyler Holland. So that means that there's a runner in scoring position yet again here on Nathan Hellman.
Some more traffic on the base. Patson Terrence Keel, who gave the Riptide a lot of trouble a week and a half ago with 3 hits, has reached in both of his plate appearances today and trying to do it for a third time.
Brought home Clark last time and looking to repeat the feat right here. A 1-0 count after that one missed. Stolen base for Clark. The third stolen base in the last 3 innings here by the Foresters. That one misses inside 2-0. And that aggressiveness, the Riptide are yet to catch a runner stealing, but they did manage to get that double play on the pop-out double play when Miller broke for third. So, there's some give and take with the stolen base. 2-0 here on Keel. That one swung on and missed. 2-1.
Big swing from Terrence Keel there.
Another nice pitch from Hellman, who's just struck out 1 today. That was his 20th strikeout of the summer, most on this Riptide roster. So 2-1. Pick back towards second. It'll be a step off from Hellman. Luke Johnson flashed in there, but ultimately didn't even throw the baseball down. So 2-1. Still no action in either bullpen. Swing and a miss for Keel. A second big whiff this at-bat. He's counts even at 2, though.
And he's looking for his first home run this summer as Terrence Keel.
A lot of the Riptide players, it's been really hard to hit balls out all summer long, obviously using wood bats, which is what makes this league special, but just 4 home runs for the Riptide all season long. 2-2 up and into Keel, so the count will run full. We've only just seen 2 home runs by Riptide hitters, 4 in total at the Great Park all season long, so it's pretty cavernous out there, tough to get out. Especially with the wind blowing left to right. And obviously the majority of hitters are right-handed, so it makes it extra tough. That one swung on, foul tip off Crandall. Thought it could have been strike 3 if he'd held on, but instead we'll stay at 3-2.
Big pitch coming up from Nate Hellman. Really don't want to give up the walk and have runners on first and second for Easton Moomow stepping up.
You do have first base open, but as Aidan said, Moomow's a talented hitter. You do not want to bring him up with as many men on base as you can. So 3-2, one more time. Hellman continues to worry about the runner. He will go. Swung on, fouled back, so Brenton Clark will have to walk back towards second base, and we'll do the 3-2 again.
Looks like Zach Crandall behind the dish got hit by something as he's in some pain.
So we'll have a brief pause here. Coach Evans coming out to check on Crandall. Athletic trainer as well, coming out to talk things over. Looks like he's holding his left wrist. We'll step away for the moment. We'll come back once Crandall's been either left in the game or taken out of it. Welcome back here in Irvine. Crandall has decided he'll stay in the ball game, and it's a 3-2 count towards Kiel. Clark on second, 1 out here in this 2-1 game. The Foresters lead. That one up and in. So ball 4 to Terrence Kiel. A well-earned walk puts runners at first and second for Easton Mumau.
Good opportunity here for Easton Mumau, who has been really productive for the Foresters this summer. 0 for 2 today so far, and looking to make his stamp on the ballgame.
Just 2 ground outs. The Riptide would love a ground ball right here and try and turn 2. See if the Foresters go for a double steal. They've been aggressive on the base pass all game. Don't do it here, and ahead 0-1 is Helmet. So 0-1 on the big bat of Easton Mumau. 2 men aboard as the Riptide try and hang in this game. That one's lifted out towards right center field. Navarro's moving back, Burdick moving over. It'll fall between both of them. Burdick bobbles, now throws in. Coming around to score is Clark. The throw is not in time. Moving up to third was Kiel, and second was Mumau. So a 1-out double makes it 3-1 Foresters. First run allowed all season long from Nathan Hellman.
And Easton Mumau just drops it out there in right center between Cam Burdick and Navarro, and the run comes around to score and extends the Foresters' lead to 2 runs now.
Pretty perfectly placed out there between the 2 of them in right center field, and a real danger spot here for Hellman. It's already a 2-run Foresters lead, but 2 more in scoring position. Swing and a miss from Chamberlain, who struck out looking last time, walked and scored in the second. Some action going on for the Riptide in the bullpen now, as well as for the Foresters, so both pens heating up. 0-1 here from Hellman. Swung on and missed, so ahead 0-2. Could really use a strikeout right here of Cole Chamberlain. These get you to 2 outs, and then all you need is just any plain out. You don't need a non-productive one. Runner on third, Kiel. Runner on second, Mumau. 0-2 on Chamberlain. Strike 3 called. The second time Chamberlain goes looking, and a huge second out for Nathan Hellman. 1 big step closer towards getting out of a big jam.
Make that strikeout number 21 on the summer for Nate Hellman. A 3-pitch strikeout retires Cole Chamberlain, and 1 out away from getting out of the top of the 5th.
Brady Dallimore up next. He was hit by a pitch in the second, and then he lined very sharply to center field last time. Takes a ball up. They'll check down to first base. It is indeed a ball after Dallimore did not offer. You do have first base open if you choose to sort of pitch around Dallimore a little bit, but Love's always like to avoid loading the bases. 1-0 in there. Went to the off speed to get it. Pretty perfectly placed slider on the outer half from Hellman. So 1-1. Still 2 runners in scoring position, though. That one's fouled straight back. So 1-2 as Hellman gets 1 big step closer to getting out of this inning.
Brady Dallimore with runners on second and third leads the Foresters in home runs this summer with 2. Has some work to do down at his last strike, though.
No Riptide players gone deep multiple times this season, so leading both teams in home runs, but as you said, down 1-2 right here. Takes a ball on the outside, 2-2. Definitely thought about offering at the off speed there, but just able to hold off from pulling the trigger was Dallimore. So 2-2 now here from Nathan Hellman. This ball just misses low. We've seen a lot of called strikeouts. 4 of the 5 strikeouts from the Foresters, as well as 1 of the 5 from the Riptide, have been looking definitely could have gone for strike 3 there, but just missed low. So 3-2. First base is open for Dallimore. 2 outs. That one's fouled back. So the battle will continue. We saw Terrence Keel have a really lengthy battle that he won with the walk, and Dallimore can do that. That'll bring up Caden Miller with the bases loaded. Of course, a base hit would certainly score 1, likely score 2, and make this a 5-1 game. Trying to keep it right at 3 is Hellman. 3-2 fouled off again. Pretty much identical spot as last time. So another long battle for Nathan Hellman. So it'll be the payoff pitch one more time here for Dallimore. Future TCU Horned Frog. That one's grounded sharply into right field past the dive of Johnson. Incoming to score is Keel. Mumau held over there at third. But the lengthy at-bat ends with a ground ball single. That makes it a 4-1 ball game.
It's the second run given up this summer from Nathan Hellman. As for Brady Dallimore, an 8-pitch at-bat gets the better of him, or Hellman, and extends the Foresters' lead to 3 runs.
Down in that at-bat, 1-2, battled all the way back. Coach Evans is going to come to the mound here. We'll see if that's Hellman's night and, of course, Hellman's summer as well. Just a conversation for the moment. No motion to the bullpen yet. So we'll stay in this ball game and face off against Caden Miller. Miller, 1 for 1 in this ball game. Singled in a run back in the second on that blooper. Coach Evans is left, and Nathan Hellman's still in this ball game. So it will be Hellman to face Miller. He also walked back in the 4th an inning ago. So Hellman scraping off the mound. He's got runners on the corners, Dallimore and Mumau at first and third respectively. Trying to make a big pitch here to get Caden Miller out. Already 2 runs across for the Foresters. Strike 1 on the outside half, 0-1.
More trouble for Nate Hellman as Noah Smith gets warm in the Riptide bullpen.
Smith looks like he'll be the next guy out of the bullpen, but Hellman would love to at least give him the opportunity to start with a fresh 6th inning. Runner goes from first, but it's fouled back. Frustrated with himself is Miller. Like Dallimore got a pretty good jump, but after the foul ball, he's got to head back. So 0-2.
It was a good jump by Dallimore, and just spoiled back by Caden Miller into the net.
I doubt Crandall would even throw down at all with the runner on third. But 0-2. Hellman really needs to work for a punchy right here. That one just misses, 1-2. Just trying to paint the outside part of the black there, but no dice. So runners on the corners in what's now a 1-2 count. Hellman will step off. Miller had a big year for UTSA last season. 8 home runs, OPS of 951. He was on the all-freshman team. Runner goes, he'll take second without a throw. That one missed up. So now 2 in scoring position after Dallimore steals. 4th stolen base in the last 3 innings for the Foresters.
The big story in this game for Nate Hellman is he's been able to get ahead of these batters, just unable to finish.
So 2-2, trying to do what Aidan just said and finish right here. Instead, that one bounces in, so 3-2. Another full count. You've again got a base open. Pretty much the exact same situation you just had with Dallimore. This time, Caden Miller, the hitter. We'll see if another lengthy battle commences. 3-2. 2 runners in scoring position. That one's hit hard but foul down the left field line. Over the Riptide bullpen and off towards the turtle behind the left field wall.
Another good at bat from a Forester in this inning. Nice job from Caden Miller.
That's what makes this Foresters team so tough to beat, is they just string good at bat after good at bat together. It might not be a hit, but they're going to make you work for it. That one upstairs, ball 4. Bases are loaded after another strong at bat from the Foresters, ends in a walk. Coach Evans coming to the mound, and it does look like this will be Nathan Hellman's summer. We'll wait for official confirmation, but Noah Smith is on his way into the bullpen, or on his way into this game from the bullpen. Welcome back here in Irvine. New pitcher is Noah Smith. So Hellman works an inning in 2/3, 3 hits, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. He's already allowed 2 runs. He's responsible for all 3 runners aboard. Caden Miller at first, Brady Dallimore at second, Easton Moomow at third. Foresters up 4-1, but really trying to blow things open. Easton Ruley facing off against Noah Smith in the biggest at-bat so far tonight. That one misses outside, 1-0. Unlike the last few at-bats, nowhere to put Easton Ruley here, so you gotta go after him. Ruley is 0 for 2 today. He flew out and then popped into a double play last time up. 1-0 on him here. That one also misses, so 2-0.
Big spot for Easton Ruley, who's 0 for 9 of his last 9 at-bats. Bases loaded here.
Would love to come through in this spot here for the Foresters. The Riptide need to keep this game right where it's at and give their bats time to wake up. 2-0 catches the outer half, so 2-1. It's a big pitch there from Noah Smith. You definitely don't want to fall behind 3-0 with the bases loaded. Instead, it'll be 2-1 for the side armor. Long pause here for Smith. Now he rocks and deals. Swing and a miss. So 2-2. But the issue for the Riptide has not been getting to 2 strikes on the Foresters hitters. It's been putting them away once you get there.
That's what Hellman was struggling with, and Smith looking to do the opposite.
So 2-2 with the bases loaded here. Foresters have scored twice in this frame already, but trying to stop the bleeding if you're Noah Smith. That one's hard, hit towards right field, but foul, so we'll stay on 2-2. He's doing a great job of battling. Every single hitter in this Foresters lineup has been a tough out this game. It's only seen 8 hitters come to the plate this inning, but it feels like this inning's been going on forever. Just really good at-bat after at-bat. 2-2. That one's grounded just foul, and the inning of eternity continues.
It really shows you that the Foresters just put together a lot of good at-bats. It's been some really long ones.
You've seen a bunch of at-bats where the Riptide pitchers have been ahead 0-2 or 1-2 that end in walks after, numerous foul balls as well. So really just been good contact, good at-bats the whole way through, and the Riptide just can't get out of this inning. 2-2 again, but first time from Ruley. Jace Binky walking back into the Riptide bullpen after collecting that last foul ball. So deuces one more time. That one's popped foul. We'll do it again. There are only so many ways I know how to say 2-2, so we'll have to try and get off this one soon enough.
And once again, about to be the 8th pitch of the at-bat.
Just so many pitches thrown by the Riptide staff. First Hellman and now Noah Smith in this inning. So 2-2 again. Swing and a miss, and this one is finally coming to an end, but not before the Foresters score twice. I've been Sam Evans. You'll hear Aidan Pham the rest of the way here on Riptide TV. 4-1 headed on to the bottom of the 5th.
Back from Great Park, it's the bottom of the 5th inning in Pham alongside Sam Evans. Tyler Holland, Cam Burdick, and Bradley Navarro due up for the Riptide in this inning. Nick Abraham, who started the game on the mound for the Foresters, is still out there. He's done a nice job. 5 strikeouts so far and has limited the offense for the Riptide. His first pitch to Holland misses inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Tyler Holland, starting at shortstop out of Arkansas, batting 152 this summer in his second at-bat. 1-0. High pop-up in the infield, shifting over. Ruley, the second baseman, settles under it, makes the grab for out number 1.
Quick first out from Abraham, who's just been fantastic for the Foresters so far. Just got tagged for that 1 run in the second, but the Riptide really haven't been able to manage anything against them so far.
There's one away for Cam Burdick, the center fielder. Cam Burdick grounded to third back in the second inning, looking for his first hit today. Stands up tall in the right-handed batter's box facing the righty Abraham, who deals way up, and Burdick, nice job getting out of the way to avoid being hit. Cam Burdick out of Cal State Fullerton, about 259 with the Titans this past year. 190 with the Riptide. Lines one to short. Nice grab by Klepsch over there for out number 2 of the 5th inning.
We were talking about with Luke Johnson, when you're hot, you're hot. When you're cold, you're cold. Cam Burdick really in need of a base hit. Hit one on the ropes there. The hits will come eventually if you keep hitting them that hard.
Really long top of the 5th inning where the Foresters put up 2 runs, and so far 2 quick outs for Nick Abraham in the home half of the 5th. Batty Navarro digs into the left-handed batter's box, leans back and forth. Abraham set, fires in, and misses low for ball 1. Navarro 0 for 2 today, both of them ground balls to first base. He's on a 14-game on-base streak, a 10-game hit streak. Looking to keep that alive. He sends one up the middle off the glove of Klepsch, and Navarro has reached for the first time today, the first single for the right fielder.
Just got enough on that baseball to where Klepsch couldn't quite field it cleanly and trickles into center field. And a 2-out single for Navarro extends that hitting streak to 11 games. He's 5 for 5 on stolen bases this season, so with the Riptide struggling offensively, perhaps the time to send him in motion right here.
See if that sparks something for the Riptide as Carter Dan steps up. Another lefty in this lineup. The wind at the start of the game was blowing hard towards right field as Navarro slides back headfirst on the pickoff attempt. But since then, it's died down. The flag's almost just sitting right down in center. Nick Abraham gets the sign from Chamberlain and set in front of the chest. Runner on first, Navarro. The pitch. Ground ball to third. It's a slow one. Charging in, Mumau delivers a throw to first off the mark. Carter Dance reaches. Runners on first and second for Grant MacArthur.
2 straight infield singles here for the Riptide. He's got a big bat up, tying run at the plate in MacArthur.
Grant MacArthur, we talked so much throughout the course of the summer about the power he has. He showed it off at UConn. Riptide looking for him to get going. 9 home runs, looking for number 1 of the 2025 season.
You know what? I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say that number 1 happens right here, right now.
Riptide would certainly love that with runners on first and second, down by 3. The pitch, low, and it gets by the catcher Chamberlain's. Runners advance to second and third for the Riptide.
Now, don't necessarily need the home run from MacArthur with 2 men in scoring position, but a base hit would be huge, and he's been doing plenty of that recently.
0 for 2 today, looking to extend his 3-game on-base streak. It's the bottom of the 5th inning. The Riptide trailing the Santa Barbara Foresters 4-1. Grant MacArthur steps back and taps the plate a couple times, and with the gray gloves, waves the bat awaiting the 1-0 pitch. 2 outs, 2 runners on. Abraham, the tan glove set in front of his chest, kicks and deals. Grounder to short. Klepsch has it, shuffles, fires to first. Gets the out there. So 2 runners get aboard for the Riptide. Nothing comes out of it. We head to the top of 6. The Foresters lead 4-1. The Foresters lead 4-1, looking at extend their lead. It's the top of the 6th inning from Great Park. Noah Smith back out there. Makani Navarro steps in. Glove in front of his belt for Noah Smith. Fires sidearm in the zone for strike one against Makani Navarro, the left-handed facing the righty Smith. Navarro played at Cuesta College this past year. Gets the start in left field today for the Foresters. Smith, 0-1. Hammered towards right field, racing all the way back as Navarro reaches up and makes the grab. A nice play from Navarro out there in right field, and a loud first out from Navarro.
He's fighting the sun out there in right field. A great play from Bradley Navarro. We saw him make one yesterday up against the wall, and he's got his sunglasses on, and I'm sure he needed them there.
Retires Makani Navarro. The top of the lineup comes up, Addison Klepsch. Smith's first pitch misses in as Klepsch twists out of the way. Batting .326 this summer with 12 RBIs for the Foresters. He's 0 for 3 though today. He leans the bat on his right shoulder as he awaits the 1-0 from Smith. Here it is. Up and away from Noah Smith. 2 balls, no strikes against Addison Klepsch. Played his ball at Auburn this past year. Played in 9 games, had 12 at-bats, struck out just once in those 12 at-bats, and so far this summer has had a nice one, batting .326, the 2-0. Down the middle for strike one. 2 balls, 1 strike, nobody on. There's 1 out in the top of the 6th. The Foresters lead 4-1 over Orange County.
Nice pitch there from Smith to get you back in the count. Just try and keep battling back if you're the side armor.
Smith stares in 2-1. Popped high in the air and it drops foul on the right side. Evens up the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Noah Smith came in relief of Nate Hellman, who went 1 2/3 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, and 2 strikeouts.
It's a shame that that's Hellman's summer over due to his having to leave, but really unfortunate because he pitched so well all summer long, so it sucks to end on a sour note, but he still had a great summer with the Riptide.
Klepsch here looking to get aboard for the first time. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch from Smith misses high. Full count against Addison Klepsch. Noah Smith has a 4-pitch mix. The sinker, 4-seam fastball, slider, and changeup. Faces a full count against Noah Smith. Looking for his 2nd strikeout today. Pitch called strike 3. 2nd strikeout from Noah Smith. Retires Addison Klepsch for 2 outs in the top of the 6th.
Josh Heineman is up and throwing in the Foresters bullpen, so presumably it will be the end of the night for Abraham after this top of the 6th inning, and it would be a merciful end for the Riptide because he's shut them down so far.
It really has. With 2 outs, Brenton Clark steps up. He's had a really good day for the Foresters. Steps in the left-handed batter's box. The pitch from Smith misses inside, 1-0 the count. Brenton Clark tripled in the 3rd, had a single in the 5th. Came around a score on both of those. 2 of 4 runs today for the Foresters from Brenton Clark. 1-0 pitch. Squares up, pulls it back as it misses away. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs, nobody on. Top of the 6th inning here in Irvine. Brenton Clark steps out and back in the box as he adjusts his helmet with the left arm. Blackwood bat waves next to his left ear with the white gloves. 2-0. Low and outside. 3 balls and no strikes against Brenton Clark. Noah Smith looking for the 3rd out of this inning and bring the Riptide bats back up.
Tough spot to be in, down 3-0. 2-out walks suck, and you'd hate to bring up Terrence Keel, who's reached all 3 times today on the on-deck circle.
3-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss from Brenton Clark. 3 balls and 1 strike, the count now.
Don't see a lot of 3-0 swings, but that was certainly not a half-hearted one. He was trying to send one over that right field fence.
Looking for his first home run this summer, Clark. Lines one right back to Smith. It bounces off his glove, rolls towards second. Johnson has it, but the runner reaches safely. He's aboard first.
Another infield single, 4th of the game between the two teams, and they've all sort of come in different ways. We've seen some high choppers, we've seen some well-placed ground balls, and now the sharp line drive that gets a piece of Noah Smith, but it looks like he's okay.
Scorched off the bat of Brenton Clark, and that's his 3rd hit tonight. Brings up Terrence Keel, who Sam talked about has reached on every single one of his plate appearances. That's 3 of them. Smith's first pitch in there for strike 1. There's 2 outs. There's a runner on first. That's Brenton Clark, who singled just moments ago. Terrence Keel out of Texas A&M. 0-1 from Smith. Misses low. 1 ball and 1 strike. .310 batting average. Reached on an error in the first. Singled in the 3rd. That was an RBI single, and was walked and came around to score in the 5th. 1-1 pitch. High towering pop-up right towards Crandall. Removes the mass and drops it.
Looked like there was a bit of communication issues between Crandall and MacArthur, but it was pretty clearly Crandall's ball. He got his glove up and just didn't make the catch.
Dropped right in front of him, so Terrence Keel stays alive. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of the 6th inning. Foresters lead 4-1 over the Riptide. Smith gets the sign from Crandall, now set in front of the belt. Lifts the leg, fires in. Called strike 3. It's the 2nd strikeout of the inning for Noah Smith. No runs come across for the Foresters, headed towards the bottom of the 6th. The Riptide look to strike back after trailing by 3. It's the bottom of the 6th inning from Irvine. The Riptide trailing 4-1 over the Santa Barbara Foresters. Samuel Stevens is the newly inserted pitcher for Santa Barbara, facing Zach Crandall to start his outing. The first pitch, big swing and a miss for strike one from Zach Crandall. Final line on Nick Abraham. It was a pretty good outing for him. 5 innings pitched, 7 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, and 5 strikeouts. Gets the low inside corner for strike 2. So quickly ahead of Zach Crandall is the new pitcher Samuel Stevens out of Xavier, making his 3rd relief appearance this summer. 0-2. Misses low, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Stevens is a 3-pitch mix, 4-seamer, slider, changeup.
Zach Crandall 0 for 2 today. The 1-2 popped up in the air out towards right field. Racing all the way back is Miller, and it drops foul.
That just would have been cruel from the baseball gods after Crandall dropped the comparatively easy pop-up behind home plate. If they'd taken that one away from him, it would have been quite the play from Caden Miller running down that right field line.
Instead, it's still a 1-2 count against Zach Crandall, who's on a 7-game on-base streak. He's reached in every game he's played in, looking to keep that alive. Struck out in the 4th and grounded to 3rd in the 2nd. Back in the right-handed batter's box. Waves the bat next to his blue helmet. Stevens pitch. Low, pops out of the glove of Chamberlain, but nobody on. 2 balls, 2 strikes, no outs. Now the catcher batting .203 for the Riptide. And for hit number 1 today, the 8th for the Riptide. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 from Zach Crandall. The first punch out from Samuel Stevens. The 6th strikeout tonight for the Foresters.
The Riptide were able to manage 7 hits against Abraham, one of which was a double from Camden Sauce, but not really able to string those hits together in a productive way, and no walks issued from Abraham. That was the real issue for him, as he was unable, or the Riptide were unable to get free passes out of him.
The red-hot bat of Luke Johnson takes a big swing and a miss at the first pitch he sees from Stevens. 2 hits so far today, and now that's 4 consecutive multi-hit games for Luke Johnson. Stevens 0-1. Low and in the opposite batter's box. 1 ball and 1 strike, and I think it's an understatement to say that Luke Johnson's been hot as of late and on an absolute tear, looking for home run number 1 this summer.
Oh, you know what he is? He is sizzling right now.
1-1, hard hit ground ball up the middle past the dive of Klepsch. Rounding first, headed for 2. The throw to second, sliding in head first, and they got him. Luke Johnson is out at second. That's the 2nd out of the 6th inning. And Johnson reached first and went for 2, and just a nice play from the Foresters.
Again, the 3rd hit for Johnson, but just got a little bit too aggressive. That ball kicked off Klepsch's glove up the middle and bounced a long way away from Terrence Keel, but not quite far enough for Johnson to turn a single into a hustle double.
Swing and a miss from Reed Montgomery, 0-1 to count. And yeah, Luke Johnson, that's technically his 3rd hit today, so his stat book will like that, as Reed Montgomery is down 0-1. Has a single in the 2nd. Stares at the pitch, missed low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike for Reed Montgomery out of Long Beach State. Has extended his on-base streak to 11 games with that single. He won 1 inside, 2 balls and 1 strike against Reed Montgomery.
Smart take there from Montgomery.
Was 3 for 4 against the Oaks yesterday. Grounds 1 to 3rd. It's scooped up by Mumau. Long throw to first gets the out. Riptide unable to add any runs. Headed towards the 7th inning. The Foresters lead 4-1. Foresters lead 4-1 in the 7th inning. Easton Mumau, Cole Chamberlain, and Brady Dollamore due up in this inning against the pitcher Noah Smith back out there. Aidan Pham alongside Sam Evans with you on this Monday night, the makeup game against the Riptide and Foresters. Mumau looking for his second hit today, doubled in the 5th. Waves the bat high next to his black helmet. The pitch from Smith. Paints the edge of the zone. Strike one from Smith. Dollamore was 1 for 5 in the initial meeting against the Riptide. 2 groundouts, but a RBI double in the 5th for him today. No balls, 1 strike. Noah Smith. The pitch. Misses high. 1 ball and 1 strike. So far tonight, as the batter at the plate, Easton Mumau. 1 ball and 1 strike. Had an RBI double in the 5th. Low and outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Mumau played at UTRGV this year. A really good batting average, .332. With 3 home runs, looking for his first this summer with the Foresters. Smith gets set. His 2-1. Low and in, 3 balls and 1 strike. Easton Mumau, a .333 batting average. Recorded his 6th RBI in the 5th as Mumau steps out and now back in. Red or pink and white batting gloves on. 3-1 pitch. Blooped over the head of the shortstop Tyler Holland. Base hit from Easton Mumau, the 8th tonight for the Foresters.
So it's for both teams in this ball game. It's really been a lot of singles and stuff today, but not a lot of hard hit balls from either team, really.
Multi-hit game for Easton Mumau. Cole Chamberlain steps in. Lefty on righty matchup. Takes a pitch in the opposite batter's box. 1-0 the count. Has struck out in his last 2 at-bats, both of them with the backwards K. He was walked in the 2nd and came around to score the first run today for the Foresters, who lead 4-1 in the top of the 7th. 1-0. Inside, 2 balls and no strikes. Cole Chamberlain batting .306. Played baseball at Texas this past year and started in 10 games for the Longhorns.
Danny Suarez just got up. He's about to throw in the bullpen for the Riptide.
2-0 pitch inside as Chamberlain adjusts out of the way. 3 straight balls issued by Noah Smith, who's down in the count, 3 balls and no strikes. Cole Chamberlain was 1 for 3 yesterday, was walked once and scored a run. Was already walked today. Looking to get his first hit, though. But with a 3-0 count, see what he elects to do. He takes wisely ball 4 in the opposite batter's box, so he's been walked twice today.
Not feeling very aggressive if you're walking twice and getting struck out looking twice, which means you're putting the bat on your shoulder a lot, but productive there for Chamberlain.
Brian Evans is out of the Riptide dugout for a mound visit. Heard Sam talk about how Danny Suarez just began warming up in the Riptide bullpen. Entire infield in as Brian Evans has some words for his starting pitcher Noah Smith. It's a 4-1 ball game in the top of the 7th inning. The Foresters lead. Riptide looking for their first win against the Foresters this summer. 0 for 2 in the first 2. In that last one, it was a wild one. The Foresters won 9-8 in walk-off fashion. But the Riptide down 8-3 heading into the 9th. Backs against the wall, put up 5 runs, and just in the bottom of the 9th, the Foresters walked it off.
And I think that was maybe the most chaotic game we've seen all year long. Really a back and forth masterclass. This one not quite as competitive at the moment. Riptide sort of hanging in there, 3 runs back, but you're going to need the offense to get going and soon. Already been shut out by this Foresters team once this season.
And as it stands right now, both teams have 8 hits. It's the difference, 4 runs for the Foresters, 1 for the Riptide have crossed. Brady Dollamore, the batter. Righty on righty matchup between him and Noah Smith with runners on first and second. Smith looks at second, the pitch. Down low for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes against Dollamore. Leads the Foresters in home runs with 2 this summer. Gonna play a couple more insurance runs for the Foresters with no outs in the top of the 7th, 2 runners on. Smith's pitch, big swing and a miss from Brady Dollamore. 1 ball and 1 strike. Dollamore struck out 3 times in the first meeting between these 2 teams. So far today has been hit by a pitch and RBI single in the 5th. Mumau on second, Chamberlain on first. The pitch drops in for strike 2. 1-2.
Found the edge of the zone there, Noah Smith. And Delamore's really hit the ball hard every time he's come to the plate. His only out was that line out to Cam Burdick in center field, but that ball was scorched. So having a good day at the plate and trying to add to it right here.
Smith still looking for the first out. His 1-2. Swing and a miss. Foul tipped into the glove of Crandall. Gets the strikeout from Brady Dollamore for the first out of the 7th, the 4th tonight for Noah Smith.
9th strikeout from Riptide pitching so far. That's not been their issue, but they just haven't been able to put away hitters enough. And we've seen some really long innings, some long at-bats as this Foresters team's really battled in this game.
And Caden Miller now steps up. Swings and drives one to right field. Navarro under it. Makes the grab for out number 2.
Easton Mumau thought about trying to run on that fly ball to Navarro, but Navarro got to show off the arm there, uncorked a seed all the way across the infield, right on the money towards Camden Saw. So a wise decision for Mumau to stay put, because he would have been hosed.
Caden Miller is retired. That brings up Easton Ruley. That's actually going to be a pinch hitter for Ruley. New batter number 14, Caleb Hoover. Was 0 for 4 yesterday, struck out once against the Oaks. Or rather, that was the Blues for the Foresters. Way outside from Easton, from Smith to Ruley. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 runners on. Chamberlain's on first. Easton Mumau is on second. Noah Smith looking for the 3rd out of this inning. A lefty on righty matchup between him and Caleb Hoover. 1-0. Low from Smith.
Just struggling to find the zone right now for Noah Smith, and you want to bear down here with these 2 outs in the inning.
Hoover batting 173, playing in his 16th game for the Foresters. A look at second, the pitch home. Inside and jumps out of the way is Caleb Hoover for ball 3. Noah Smith looking to avoid walking the batter and leading the bases loaded for Makani Navarro. 3 balls, no strikes, 2 runners on. Smith. The pitch. Way inside, ball 4. Bases are loaded for Makani Navarro, stepping up with 2 outs in the top of the 7th.
Not the first time we've seen the bases get loaded in this ball game against the Riptide. The last time we were able to get a big out from from Noah Smith himself, actually. That's why he came into this ball game in relief of Nathan Hellman, but he's leaving now. This pitching change brought to you by Experian. Experian is your BFF, your big financial friend. Big enough to have the resources and knowledge that have an impact, but personal enough to help with what's best for only you. No matter where you are on your financial journey, your big financial friend is a trustworthy companion by your side. Wherever you are in your financial journey, your big financial friend is ready to help you navigate the smartest way to reach all your personal financial goals with solutions you can trust. This is Experian, your big financial friend for life. For more information, visit Experian.com.
Pitching change from the Riptide. We'll take a quick break. Bases loaded with 2 outs in the top of the 7th inning after the pitching change from the Riptide. New pitcher number 46, Danny Suarez, facing Makani Navarro. First pitch, chopped back foul by Navarro.
Big spot here. This Riptide offense has been pretty stagnant all day long. Just the one run. If you give up a big hit here and you fall down by, say, 5, it really feels like it's game over. But if you can hold them at 3, at least you're still alive.
0-1. Misses low. 1 ball and 1 strike for Danny Suarez, making his 3rd appearance this summer. 4 and 3rd innings pitched and just over an ERA of 2. Racing Makani Navarro has 0 for 3 today, looking to cash in a couple runs for the Foresters. Pitch is low. Nice job by Crandall to block it. 2 balls and 1 strike. Suarez, no walks issued so far, has 8 strikeouts for the Riptide.
We saw Dane Grant, who had no walks issued so far this season, walk a guy today. So see if Suarez's streak can continue as well.
Fires 1 up and outside. 3 balls and 1 strike. The wind in center field has picked up. The flags are starting to blow a little harder towards right field at the moment for the lefty Makani Navarro. Suarez stares in and gets set in front of the chest. His 3-1. Tapped back foul. Full count against Navarro. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The bases are loaded in the top of the 7th. Foresters lead 4-1.
Really does feel like it's teetering on the brink right here. It's going to be an action pitch. Everyone's going to be moving.
Navarro looking to avoid striking out for the 3rd time today. Suarez, 3-2. Ground ball to second. Johnson has it. Throws on to first. Gets the out there. The Riptide get out of the bases loaded gem. Headed towards the bottom of the 7th. They trail 4-1. We've reached the bottom of the 7th inning in Great Park. The Riptide trailing 4-1 to the Santa Barbara Foresters. Looking for the offense to come through, down by 3 runs. Camden Sauce, Tyler Holland, and Cam Burdick are due up for Orange County in this inning. New pitcher out there, number 35, Josh Heineman for the Foresters. Heineman's first pitch sails up and in towards Camden Sauce, who twists out of the way. 1-0 the count. Heineman pitched at Crowder College this year, made 16 appearances on the mound and 1 start. The red glove in front of his chest, the 1-0. Paints the edge of the zone for strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Making his 5th appearance this summer is Josh Heineman. Has walked 5 and struck out 9. Camden Sauce looking for his 2nd hit today. Check swing, appeal down to first, didn't go around. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Aidan, do you want to know the last time the Riptide had a base hit that didn't hit off an infielder's glove or stay in the infield entirely?
When was that, Sam?
The 2nd inning of this ball game.
2-1. Right in there for strike 2. So the offense has sputtered for the Riptide, as Sam alluded to, and Camden Sauce had an RBI double in the 2nd inning.
That was the last hit that got out of the infield entirely.
2-2. Low and in the opposite batter's box. Full count against Camden Sauce. Played at TCU this past year, transferring to Santa Clara in the fall. Snapped his 11-game on-base streak against the Oaks, and has done a nice job of finding a way to get on via the walk. Looking to do it once again. 3-2. Misses high. Camden Sauce gets the walk, and he's aboard first. A good start to the inning for the Riptide, as there's no outs. There's a runner on first for Tyler Holland, who's 0 for 2 today, looking for his first hit. Was 1 for 5 against the Oaks back on Saturday. Scored a run and was walked once. Pitch gets the edge of the zone for strike 1 from Josh Heineman to Tyler Holland. Struck out 3 times on Saturday was Holland. The pitch right in there for strike 2. So quickly down in the count, 0-2 is Tyler Holland, batting 152 with 3 RBIs this summer for Orange County. Steps up, back in, taps the plate, and red and white gloves waves the black bat above his right shoulder. Heineman's pitch outside, 1-2 count.
Liam Keithley's taken over in the Keystone, second base, in the place of Ruley, who was pinch hit for by Hoover last inning.
1-2, misses upstairs, evens up the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's the bottom of the 7th inning. The Riptide trail 4-1 against Santa Barbara. There's a runner on first, Camden Sauce, who was walked. No outs. Heineman looks at first, now set in front of his chest. Fires and line foul along the 3rd base side. Looking to get the bat going is Tyler Holland, batting 152 this summer, 0 for 2 today. Would love his first hit here in the bottom of the 7th against the Foresters. 2-2. Called strike 3. The 2nd strikeout of the day against Tyler Holland. It's the 7th for the Foresters, and there's 1 out in the bottom of the 7th.
Cam Burdick here, he's 0 for 2 today, but he lined out last time, so hopefully getting some better contact here and try and put a couple men on base and bring the tying run to the plate in the form of Bradley Navarro.
Runner takes off Camden Sauce. There's no throw, and Sauce swipes the bag. He's aboard second.
Riptide have sort of been ran all over by the Foresters in this game, and that time the Riptide get some revenge there as Sauce is able to move into scoring position.
Chamberlain just finished a quick jog out to the mound. Meanwhile, Cam Burdick got some instructions from his 3rd base coach, Grant Mayu. He's ready in the right-handed batter's box, awaiting the 1-0 from Josh Heineman. Red glove in front of his chest, looks at second. One more look at second. Lifts the leg, fires in. It's low and outside. 2 balls, no strikes.
The danger when you go to your bullpen for the Foresters, your pitching has been so good so far through 6 innings. The Riptide, though, you just need a little something to get action going.
Sauce takes off. The pitch called a strike, sliding in head first, safely to third. 90 feet from home is Camden Sauce, and has second stolen base this inning.
Got a really good jump on that one. He timed Heineman up well and just able to beat the throw down from Chamberlain.
2-1. High pop-up that curls back, foul over the press box. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Cam Burdick is 0 for his last 5 at-bats. Looking for RBI number 4 this summer. Score Camden Sauce over there on third. Riptide trailing 4-1. 2-2. Misses high. Full count against Cam Burdick. Looking to reach for the first time today.
Big spot here. Burdick would love to earn a free pass aboard. We know how fast he is. He'll steal second if he gets there.
White sleeve on his right arm and twists out of the way for ball 4. Cam Burdick reaches for the first times. Runner on the corners for Brady Navarro and the top of the Riptide lineup.
Great job there from the 7, 8, 9 men in the Riptide lineup. Sauce and Burdick both work walks, and you set the table, and just like that, tying run at the plate as well. The mound visit here.
Steve Shuck out there for the mound visit to Josh Heineman, who came in to start this inning and gave up the walk to Camden Sauce, who stole 2 bags. He's on third. Struck out Tyler Holland and issued the walk to Cam Burdick. Runners are on the corners for the top of the lineup, starting with Brady Navarro, who's been nothing short of excellent for the Riptide this summer.
Yeah, he has been fantastic. He's already got a walk-off on his ledger. Obviously no chance for one here in the 7th, but a huge spot. Loved a big hit. You can get Burdick up and moving on to second, potentially bring home 2 runs with just a single.
Navarro batting .440 coming into tonight, has a home run and 7 RBIs. Singled in the 5th, looking for his 8th multi-hit game. A long mound visit from Steve Shuck. There is somebody getting warm in the bullpen, and the Foresters will go there. That's it for Josh Heineman. He goes a third of an inning, and with the pitching change for the Foresters, we'll step aside. It's the bottom of the 7th inning. The Riptide trailing 4-1 against the Santa Barbara Foresters. They have 1 out and runners on the corners. The new pitcher for the Foresters is number 20, Tag Andrews. Brady Navarro steps up to the plate. Riptide looking to cut into the Foresters' 3-run lead. Andrews, the right-handed pitcher, pitching to Navarro, the lefty. First pitch, a strike. Andrews played at Arkansas and hit the portal, is going to Arkansas Little Rock next year. 2-pitch mix, fastball and slider for him, 0-1. Drops in for strike 2. Quickly ahead of Navarro, no balls, 2 strikes with 1 out and runners on the corners.
But if anyone can do some 2-strike hitting, it's Bradley Navarro, just raking all summer long, already on an 11-game hitting streak.
0-2, way outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Camden Sauce, who was walked, is on third. Cam Burdick is on first. For Bradley Navarro, who steps out a practice swing as he's back in the box. The pitch misses low, evens up the count, 2-2.
Standard of how effective Navarro's been, he's got nearly double. He has 23 hits, next closest 13, so 10 more hits than anyone else. He's also walked 11 times.
The 2-2 misses low and outside, full count against Bradley Navarro after going down 0-2. Leads the team in extra base hits as well with 7. There's 1 out, runners on the corners. They take off, the throw outside, ball 4. Bases are loaded for Carter Dance.
Great at-bat there from Bradley Navarro. Fell behind 0-2. Just didn't panic, and eventually Andrews was scared of him, walked him, and now the bases are juiced for the big bat of Carter Dance. Already 2 for 3 today.
Single in the 1st and 5th. The bases loaded with 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. Riptide trailing 4-1. Andrews pitch. In for strike 1. Carter Dance batting .273 for the Riptide. Has 1 home run and 7 RBIs. Andrews with the black glove gets set, kicks and deals 0-1, way outside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Foresters have left 7 men aboard in their last 3 innings, twice off the bases loaded. Let the Riptide hang around, and all of a sudden they're really threatening.
Pitch in for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bases loaded with 1 out. Navarro on first, Burdick on second, Camden Sauce on third. Carter Dance back in the box, taps the plate 2 times, and with black gloves waves the bat next to his left ear. Stepping off the mound, Andrews. He's back on, gets the sign from his catcher, Chamberlain. 1-2. Up and in the opposite batter's box, 2-2 the count. Carter Dance hit his first home run of the summer against the Blues. It was a 2-run homer. 2-2 from Andrews. Big swing and a miss for strike 3. So there's 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th, and a pinch hitter for the Riptide. That's Johnny Rodriguez.
Pitch hitting for MacArthur. Rodriguez batting from the left side, so trying to turn around Andrews here, take advantage of the platoon matchup, and presumably Rodriguez, a first baseman, will stay in the ball game over at first.
Rodriguez is hitless in his last 13 at-bats. The bases are loaded with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. Riptide trailing by 3 runs. Looking for a big hit from Rodriguez. Andrews pitch. Big swing and a miss from J-Rod. He's 0 for 5 against the Oaks, struck out once. Before that, 0 for 4 against the Blues. 0-1. Upstairs, 1 ball and 1 strike against Johnny Rodriguez. Played at Golden West this year, a .414 average with 6 home runs and 47 RBIs. Looking for his first hit. Ground ball, hard hit to second. A high hop to Keithley. Throws on to first, gets the out there. The Riptide leave the bases loaded Headed towards the 8th inning, the Foresters look to add to their 4-1 lead. Eighth inning from Great Park in Irvine. The Riptide left the bases loaded to close out the 7th inning. Foresters lead 4-1, looking to add on with Addison Klepsch at the plate. Suarez out there. His first pitch, tapped back foul into the net behind home by Addison Klepsch. Klepsch 0 for 4 today, 2 strikeouts, line 1 to shortstop and a ground out to third. So looking to record his first hit today, the 0-1 from Suarez. In for strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes, nobody on, and no outs in the top of the 8th.
Really pretty pitch there from Suarez.
0-2. Called strike 3. Number 10 today for the Riptide. Retires Addison Klepsch, who's struck out now for the 3rd time.
And all looking on those strikeouts from Klepsch. We said how pretty of a pitch it was for strike 2. Suarez basically gave him the exact same pitch. Klepsch was off to the dugout really before it hit the catcher's mitt.
Okay.
Brings up Brenton Clark.
Okay.
Swings and sends one towards left field. Charging in, and it drops into left. Headed for 2, sliding in feet first. Brenton Clark, a double.
Actually, ball was picked up by Tyler Holland out there in left field. He lost his hat chasing it, so it's a double to the shortstop because it wasn't Montgomery who fielded it. And perhaps that's what allowed Clark to move into scoring position, as Montgomery coming in would have had the momentum to throw quicker versus Holland sort of had to throw while moving away from second base.
So he gets the strikeout to Klepsch, and Brenton Clark in scoring position for Terrence Keel, who has been great for the Foresters tonight. Suarez's pitch misses, 1 ball and no strikes. The Riptide already 10 strikeouts tonight. The Foresters, who beat the Blues 5-4 last night, only struck out 3 times. Crandall out there for a quick mound visit as he's back behind the plate.
Probably just changing the signs up with Clark over there on second. He may be there for 10 or 15 pitches here. You just don't want to let him get a handle on what you're doing sign-wise.
Black sleeve on his right arm. Chops one foul along the third base side. Has reached 3 times today is Terrence Keel. Has 1 hit. That was a RBI single in the 3rd. Back in the box, awaiting the 1-1 from Danny Suarez. He gets the sign he likes from Crandall. Lays the black glove in front of his body. Looks at second, heaves. gets away from Crandall. 2 balls and 1 strike. And for the Riptide, Sam, the pitching has kept them in the game. It's just a 3-run ball game, but Danny Suarez looking to keep it right there. A runner in scoring position is Brenton Clark on second. 2-1. Grounder, 2 hops to short. Tyler Holland has it. On to first. Gets the out there. The runner advances to third. There's 2 away in the 8th inning.
Yeah, unfortunately there, that ball was to the left of Clark, which you don't normally talk about wanting to freeze on those, but he had a good read on it, recognized he could get out in front of it, and Holland just made the smart play through to first. No need to try and get the lead runner. You're on 2 outs. Just try and put away Mumau right here, which is admittedly easier said than done.
Mumau already has 2 hits today. That was an RBI double in the 5th and a single in the 7th. Runner 90 feet from home, Brenton Clark. Lefty takes strike 1 from Danny Suarez. .333 batting average. Looking for RBI number 7. 0-1. Misses low. 1 ball and 1 strike from Danny Suarez. Mumau was 2 for 4 in the last meeting with 2 runs scored, and the initial was 1 for 2 with 2 walks. So this caused problems for the Riptide as the 1-1 is in for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, top of the 8th inning. The Foresters lead 4-1. There's a runner on third, Brenton Clark, for Easton Mumau, the batter. Suarez is ready. The 1-2. Bounces in front of the plate, gets by the catcher Crandall, and the run scores from third, extends the Foresters' lead 5-1, top of the 8th.
Just a frustrating one there for Danny Suarez. You were 1 strike away from getting out of this inning, getting around the sort of unfortunate bloop double, but Foresters able to scratch one across.
2-2 count. Suarez looking for the 11th strikeout for the Riptide today. The pitch misses high. Full count against Easton Mumau. Brenton Clark just scored. It's a 4-run lead for the Foresters. Suarez 3-2. Popped back, foul on the left side. We do things at 3-2.
It's another lengthy at-bat here put together by Mumau. That's just been the story of the game for Santa Barbara.
A lot of long at-bats. This will be the 7th pitch issued by Suarez to Easton Mumau. 3-2. Called strike 3. Strikeout number 11 from the Riptide. We go to the bottom of 8th. The Riptide trailing 5-1. Bottom of the 8th inning, the Foresters extended their lead with 1 run in the 8th inning. They now lead 5-1 over the Riptide. Zach Crandall, Luke Johnson, and Reed Montgomery are due up in this inning. It's the bottom of the 8th from Great Park. Andrews' pitch, low and away. The Riptide had the bases loaded back in the 7th, unable to get any runs to cross. Zach Crandall 0 for 3 today with 2 strikeouts, sends one sharply foul towards the parking lot.
Just need to get something going. You loaded the bases without the benefit of a base hit last inning. You got to string some together right here.
1-1 bounces a foot in front of home plate. 2 balls in, 1 strike. The Riptide have left 9 on base tonight. 8 runs, 1 run. 8 hits, 1 run has come across for the Riptide. Andrews 2-1. Taken for ball 3. 3-1 count against Zach Crandall. Nobody on, no outs. Bottom of the 8th. The Riptide trailing by 4 runs. Zach Crandall looking to reach for the first time today. 3-1 is upstairs for ball 4. Zach Crandall gets aboard via the walk, extends his on-base streak to 8 games, and Luke Johnson steps up.
Exactly what you want to do there if you're Crandall. You're not going to win this game with 1 swing of the bat when there's no one aboard, but if you can get a couple guys on base, that may change. So just trying to string good at-bats together, and you've got a man who's already 3 for 3 up in Luke Johnson, trying to add on.
Multiple big games for Luke Johnson. He takes the pitch down the middle for strike 1. The Riptide actually didn't record a hit in the 7th inning. 3 walks were issued, and they left the bases loaded. Crandall just reached via the walk. He's on first, swing and a miss for strike 2, Luke Johnson.
We haven't seen Luke behind an account very much at all today, so trying to make something happen here, though, down to his last strike.
0-2, high pop-up towards center field, working back towards it. The shortstop, Austin Klepsch, makes the grab for out number 1.
So Johnson is human. He is allowed to make an out at some point.
Feels silly to say, but pops one up. That's technically his first out. He has 3 hits today. That's the 3rd game in a row he's had 3 hits.
I think that's pretty good.
That's outstanding, and Reed Montgomery steps up. Takes strike 1 is Reed Montgomery. Singled in the 2nd, struck out in the 4th, and grounded to 3rd in the 6th inning. Montgomery extended his 10-game on-base streak to 11 with that single. The 0-1, low outside corner, strike 2. Andrews does a nice job getting ahead in the count once again against Reed Montgomery. 0-2 the count. 1 runner on. That's Crandall on first with 1 out. Bottom of the 8th. The 0-2 misses. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bottom of the 8th, Riptide trail 5-1 against the Foresters. Both teams will take on each other again on Wednesday when the Riptide will be in Santa Barbara. 1-2. Hard hit, 1 bounce high to second. The turn to second base gets the out there. Reed Montgomery is safe on first. So they get the out with Crandall at second. Reed Montgomery reaches first, and there's 2 outs with Camden Sauce stepping up.
And between these 2 games against the Foresters, we'll have the Barons tomorrow night here, and then the Bombers tomorrow night here, and we'll have the Bombers again on Thursday before the off day for 4th of July.
Camden Sauce walked back in the 7th. Stares at the pitch miss low. Sauce looking to reach for the 3rd time today, has struck out 1 time. That was in the 4th. Down by 4 runs as the throw to first pickoff attempt got away from the first baseman, and Reed Montgomery back safely. Riptide trailing by 4, just looking for a couple runs and get themselves closer to tying it. Camden Sauce, the righty, faces the righty Andrews. Over to first, high throw in. Back head first is Reed Montgomery safely. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs, a runner on first, Reed Montgomery. 5-1 ball game that the Foresters lead. Camden Sauce at the plate. Andrews, the pitcher, lifts the leg, fires, swing and a miss, strike 1.
You know, and after this game here, you have the Foresters on Wednesday, but besides that, it's the only one of your next 10 games that are against a team that's above 500. So sort of an opportunity for the Riptide to potentially go on a run. You got some lower level teams coming up.
Sauce takes strike, 2-1-2 count. Riptide, as it stands right now, sit 4th in the CCL South, but the Foresters don't participate in CCL playoffs, so at the moment they have the 3rd and final playoff spot. It's them and the Barons battling for it. 1-2, towering high pop-up towards first. Miller able to track it down and make the grab for out number 3. 9th inning coming up next. The Foresters lead 5-1. We've reached the 9th inning in Irvine. The Foresters hold a 5-1 lead over the Riptide, looking for some insurance runs. Coach Chamberlain, Brady Dallimore, and Caden Miller due up in this inning for Santa Barbara. Danny Suarez back out there, deals strike 1 to Chamberlain. Chamberlain struck out twice today, has also been walked twice. Came around a score on one of those walks. Suarez gets set, deals 0-1, bounces low for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Danny Suarez looking for 3 outs and get the Riptide lineup back up, who at the moment will be looking for at least 4 runs.
Suarez just want to keep this game right here. He got tagged for a pretty soft run last inning.
1-1, big swing and a miss from Coach Chamberlain. Riptide so far 11 strikeouts tonight, looking for number 12. Done a nice job keeping the Riptide in the ball game. It's a 4-run lead for Santa Barbara. 1-2. Check swing went around, says the home plate umpire. Strikeout number 12 from Orange County tonight sends Chamberlain back to the dugout and Brady Dallimore up to the plate.
3rd strikeout from Suarez. He's looked pretty good. He came into this game with the bases loaded in the 7th, got a big out, and he gave up that run last inning, but that is about as soft as a run as you're going to see all year long.
Brenton Clark scored that lone run in the 8th to extend the Foresters' lead. It's 5-1. First pitch misses for ball 1. Dollamore has reached twice today, once by hit by pitch and a single. 1-0. Big cut and taps it back. Foul by Dollamore, the designated hitter. Struck out in the 7th inning, flew out in the 3rd. Faces a 1-1 count with 1 out and nobody on in the top of the 9th. Suarez's pitch, a mountain-high fly ball towards center field. Cam Burdick able to make the grab for out number 2.
Cam Burdick would have had enough time to build a chair, sit down, read a book, and then reach up to catch that one. That was as towering as a fly ball as you can get.
Felt like it hung up there for forever, but 2 outs and Aidan Miller up in the left-hand batter's box. Suarez deals low, 1 ball and no strikes. Suarez looking for that 3rd out and go to the bottom of the 9th where the Riptide look to walk it off or send it to extra innings. 1-0. Big cut from Miller.
You know, if the Riptide are able to score 4 runs in the bottom of the 9th, I don't think it's too much to ask to just win it right there in the 9th. No need for extra innings. Everyone can go home and celebrate.
Got to get that 3rd out first from Danny Suarez. It's Aidan Miller. Another big swing and a miss from Miller. 1-2 the count. Suarez looking for that last strike to get out of this inning.
He's really looked like a strong addition to that Riptide bullpen. It's already so crowded, but Suarez definitely getting big outs already.
1-2. Misses upstairs. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Aidan Miller, lefty on righty matchup, has reached 3 times today, has a single and 2 walks. 2-2. And low and got the foot of Aidan Miller, so he reaches on the hit by pitch. A new batter in the game for the Forsters. It's number 39, Liam Keithley.
We've seen Keithley out there at second the last couple innings, but this is his first at-bat of the game after Ruley and Hoover have been in this 8th spot earlier.
1 for 2 against the Riptide last time. Runs scored in the strikeouts. The pitch sails high from Suarez. Liam Keithley out of Cal Lutheran, playing in his 10th game as a Forester. Runner on first with 2 outs. 1-0. Strike 1 from Danny Suarez. Keithley, 286 average. Also played in that first meeting as a pinch runner where he scored a run for the Foresters. 1-1 count, 2 outs. The pitch misses away. 2 balls and 1 strike as Keithley steps out, adjusts his sleeves, and with the white gloves back in the box. Awaiting the 2-1 from Danny Suarez. Stares in, gets a sign from Crandall as he's set. Pitch. Swing over the top of it from Liam Keithley. 2-2 the count with 2 outs. Suarez looking for strikeout number 13 tonight for the Riptide. Suarez 2-2. Grounder to second, racing over. Johnson twists, delivers a throw, outreach glove of Rodriguez in time for the 3rd out. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning. The Riptide trail 5-1. We've reached the bottom of the 9th inning. The Riptide trailing 5-1 against the Santa Barbara Foresters, looking for 4 runs to tie the ball game up and more to walk it off. Tyler Holland, Cam Burdick, and Bradley Navarro are due up in this inning for Orange County. Easton Toomis is out there for the Foresters in relief, taking over for Andrews, who went 1 2/3 innings, 2 walks and 1 K. No runs came across for the Riptide. They haven't scored since the 2nd inning. Holland swings and sends a fly ball towards right field. Clark is under it for out number 1.
We were talking between innings, just hasn't been the Riptide tonight. They've got 8 hits, just haven't strung them together. You worked a couple walks as well the last few innings as well, and just 12 base runners, but only 1 run. It's been just difficult to push runs across.
Down to their last 2 outs, Cam Burdick steps up. Toomis's pitch. It's the edge of the zone for strike 1. Cam Burdick was walked in the 7th. As Easton Toomis, he gets set and fires the 0-1. It's low, 1 ball and 1 strike against Cam Burdick. Burdick looking for his first hit today. Riptide have 8, but just 1 run has come across, like Sam said. Glove in front of his face, the 1-1. It's the edge of the zone for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes against Cam Burdick. 190 average for the Riptide this summer. The 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Riptide are down to their last out of the ball game.
First strikeout from Tunis since coming into the game, the 9th by Foresters pitching so far.
The Foresters are 1 out away from winning the ball game, and that's easier said than done against Bradley Navarro stepping up.
Navarro has already extended that hitting streak to 11, but 6 of those 11 are multi-hit games. He can make it 7 with another knock right here.
2 misses. Pitch to Navarro. Taken for strike 1. 0-1 the count against Bradley Navarro, who singled in the 5th and was walked in the 7th. Switch hitter bats left-handed against the righty Toomis. The 0-1 drops low. 1 ball and 1 strike. 2 outs, nobody on. It's the bottom of the 9th inning. The Riptide trailing 5-1 against the Santa Barbara Foresters. Navarro looking to keep the Riptide alive. 2 misses, 1-1. Clips the bottom of the zone for a strike 2. 1-2 the count. Riptide down to their last strike.
Just trying to battle here if you're Navarro and do anything you can to move the line on to Carter Dans.
1-2. Low and outside, evens up the count 2-2. Carter Dans is on the on-deck circle if Navarro is able to reach. Navarro steps out and now back in. Waves the bat around and leans back and forth in the left-handed batter's box. 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Ends the ball game. The Foresters come into Orange County. They win 5-1 over the Riptide, improved to 14-4 on the season. The OC Riptide dropped to 9-10. And I think, Sam, if you're going to talk about this game, the biggest storyline is the left on base for both teams.
Yeah, both teams left double-digit men on base. Foresters 11, Riptide 10. There were 30 instances in the game where the bases were left loaded. The Riptide just didn't do enough offensively today. It was a pretty tough performance to watch, but they'll be back at it against the Bombers tomorrow.
Riptide take on the Bombers tomorrow. We'll go to Santa Barbara for another game against the Foresters. That's on Wednesday. We'll have that for you on Riptide Radio. But final line from Great Park for the Foresters. That's 9 hits, 5 runs. Riptide 8 hits and 1 run. That'll do it for us. On behalf of my broadcast partner Sam Evans, I'm Aidan Pham saying good night from Irvine.